And welcome back, guys, welcome back. Another video, Unplugged TV Australia. This afternoon with an experiment. I have to deliver a computer to Fernvale. So I'm driving from home to Fernvale, which is about 32 kilometers. And I would like to show you what the car can do in terms of full self-driving on country roads. So as you know, full self-driving is not there yet. But we've got the Autopilot and we've got Autopilot on navigation and self-parking and all these little bits and pieces, of course. But this afternoon we are going to Fernvale, so we're driving country roads, 80-100 kilometer zones, a little bit of town driving through Lowood, and I would like to use the Autopilot as much as possible, and we'll share with you what is going on the screen here and what is going on the road, and when I have to take over, when it's too dangerous to let the car drive basically, or when the shown speed is totally off to what is actually allowed on the road. We can leave the consumption in here as well. All right, let's go. Because Navigate on Autopilot is feature complete by end of 2019, which was 8 days ago. So everything should be ready to go in terms of the features, of course, not in terms of the car can actually drive. And I just want to see, you can see my hands anyway. That is all good. All right. So, the neighbor is leaving as well. Okay, turn on. All right, car's on Autopilot right now. 50 kilometers an hour. This is actually a 70 kilometer zone here, which is far too fast. It is far too fast. So 50 kilometers is perfect. And the car was not as good as on these roads when I got it. I trained it basically for the last 3 months, and now it drives all these curves and roads perfectly. There's a car coming behind me, so we have to turn here anyway. I probably leave the car. Let's see if he turns as well. Well, if so, the blinker oil is empty. Oh yeah. Right. Okay, I have to readjust the camera. The camera fell off. There's one of these cheap Chinese suckers here on the glass roof. So this should go now again. Okay. Let's do this again here. Right. Again, this is a 70 kilometer zone, but the car only recognizes 50, so it drives only 50, and it doesn't allow me to override the Autopilot now. So this is, it says auto steer speed restricted to 50 kilometers. The car only knows 50 kilometers from the data here, but 50 kilometers is totally fine for these kind of roads. It still nags me every 12-13 seconds to put my hands back on the wheel. It doesn't show me any bins. No bin update here. But at least it drives now itself here on these roads. That's a 70 kilometer sign. Okay, I'm turn off autopilot now, let the car brake. So this is obviously a situation it can't handle now. It can't do any turns or intersections or something like this. That is fine. Okay, so put it back on this road. 70 kilometers, correctly data, autopilot on, take my foot off. This is an interesting situation here with a little curve it needs to do, but it does it just fine. It comes 80 kilometers now, still shows 70, 80 kilometers, taking over 80 kilometers. And you can see the line marking ahead of us is not very clear. There's a left turn and a straight line, but there's almost no line marking visible on this intersection, and it handles the situation just fine. A little bit of veering to the right here, but that is cool. It has recognized the 100 kilometers zone, which I'm taking over. I personally don't drive 100 here on this road, and this is something what the car does. Go away, birds, I can't brake. So there's a curve coming. Obviously I'm not doing anything now. Let's see what the car does. I keep my hands on the steering wheel. It slows down to 96, which is still a bit fast for my taste. Yeah, I have to watch the kangaroos here. There's another curve coming. And the left turn. Yeah, it slows down to about 90. It's a bit rough in the corner, but it handled it. Went down to 92 and now it's accelerating again to 100. Totally fine. See, on these roads here, on these country roads, we've got this left lane here, or this left border where the grass actually grows into the road. I would personally drive a lot more on the right hand side now, more to the middle line, because you can see all these bumps here on the left hand side where the tarmac is not really flat and smooth. I would drive more in the middle of the road if there's no car, so it brakes automatically again. Yeah, a bit rough but fine. 80 kilometers. 80 kilometers, slows down automatically. It does it automatically right now. So we are driving now through Brightview. There's an 80 kilometer zone estate. I hope this is still recording. Yes, it is. Okay. I can zoom this in a little bit more so you can see what is ahead. Should actually turn on the autopilot. Fernvale Dental. Have you seen that? That's because the lane gets really wide. Yeah, the lane gets really wide, and the car always centers itself in the lane. And I was distracted with the navigation, but it handled it just fine. It didn't do it when I got the car new, because I think this is the first time Teslas are driving on these kind of roads, or on this road here, in autopilot. So it's collecting all the data. There's a person walking on the left. Let's see if it... I think it's too far off. Yeah, that's fine. It's off the road. That's cool. This is all good. This is straight road. Again, I personally would drive a little bit more on the right hand side now to avoid all these bumps and bits here on the left where the actual road is a little bit uneven, but the car is centering itself. It would be good if you can use one of the joysticks and move the car a little bit over to the other side. And then when the car comes towards us, it automatically goes a little bit away from the middle line and then puts itself back in the more to the middle. That would be ideal. But it doesn't do it right now. And clearly, to be honest, this is not what the Autopilot is designed for, of course. What I'm doing here is potentially dangerous, so don't do it at home, don't do it anywhere if you don't know the roads and the traffic and how the car actually performs. I've driven this road or this distance here from home to Fernvale a couple of times in Autopilot, so I know where the car has trouble. Like just before, when the lane got really wide and everything. They didn't pay attention. Okay, so it accelerates to 100 automatically. Does it just fine. Just keep my hands on the steering wheel when a car is coming. You can see from the frequency how often it nags me actually to put my hands back on the steering wheel. It's every 12 seconds. So the car is not very confident to drive on these roads here. It's not designed for that, and there's no data available. There's a slight curve coming again, but I think it takes it with 100 here, which is probably appropriate. Yeah. And interestingly, I cannot override the Autopilot here. 100 auto steer, speed restricted to 100 kilometers, it says, which is fair enough. The car is not confident enough to drive faster on these roads. And here we're coming over a hump. It says 90 kilometers per hour recommended. I keep my hands on the steering wheel. It usually smashes through it with 100 here, but you never know what's behind the corner. It should slow down on these occasions as well, because it can't look over the hump, over the crest, and see what's actually going on behind it. So, and here comes an interesting section of the road. There's a little bit of a curve coming. 80 kilometers recommended. Car slowing down to 95, which is kind of okay. I would probably drive 90, and again a little bit more on this side when the car is coming in a curve. Now it goes up to 100 again. Again, here you can't see what's on the behind the crest. Slows down just a little tiny bit. I'm not comfortable with this speed. 95 is a bit too fast for me in this curve. But it slows down here. I would go with 100 on this curve. And now there's a long stretch of straight road ahead, so this is fine with 100 kilometers per hour. It's exactly 13 seconds from one message to another message. This is the minimum what you can get. Not enough data for Tesla to make this more comfortable here. For the passenger, of course. Not for the car, for the passenger. No car behind me, just the suction mount, the cheap one, very cheap suction mount. And here again, I would drive a little bit more on the right hand side, more to the middle of the road, but it centers the car. I probably take off the Autopilot for a moment here, because there are cars coming towards me in the curve. and it usually drives a lot more in the middle of the road inside the curve, and I don't like this. 70 kilometers recommended. There are the signs. Car slows down automatically to 80, which is, it is okay. 75 would be fine. And now we're coming into a 60 kilometer zone. Car accelerates to 100. Here's the 60 kilometer zone. Fails. Still 100, 100, 80.
Now turn right onto Forest Hill.
Total fail. 50. It was never 50 before here, never. Not in the last 10 years. And now this intersection here, very hard to see actually down this lane there. I cannot show you at the moment. It's a bit over a crest. So 80 kilometers is wrong. It's still 60 here in this intersection. There were so many accidents here. You may remember one video I took with the PHEV coming from Fernvale back home. There was an accident here, and it is on the video as well. So I'm turning it down the autopilot to 60. Let the car drive. Once it can recognize all the speed signs automatically, it will be far better. Because this data is coming from the map. And now look at the road, it gets really wide. You can see how the line flickers on the left hand side. It cannot determine where the actual, what is it doing now? Yeah, it stays in the line here, fine. All good. Yeah, I think this is 80 again here now. It is all good. And now we've got the other problem with the low sun from behind us, which is not as bad as if you drive the other direction and the sun shines into the cameras. But you get all these weird shades on the road. It needs to handle, but I never had a problem with these shades before, shadows. See, and this is all fine. It's clear line marking in the middle of the road, and you can see how bad the right hand side is, but it clearly has two blue lines here. No problem to recognize the situation. Still, I cannot override the 80 kilometers. Restricted to 80. No data. So I'm collecting a lot of information now for Tesla here. And well, so far the time has not increased. It was always 12-13 seconds until the next nag came, and it hasn't increased. While on other roads it did. I'll show you this in a later video. And now here ahead of us comes an interesting little intersection. There's a road going to the left and lots of line marking going on, but the car handles it just fine. Goes through it, yeah, no problem. Alright, welcome to the township of Lowood. And this 60 sign here behind the Lowood sign is new. It was far further. See, I'm turning down the car now to 60. And we don't want to do any speeding here. See, it still has 80 kilometers. And the old sign was here. You can see the 60 sign on the left. The other one is new. There it goes, 60. So the data is not updating, it's not up to date. This is probably 6-7 months ago when they had this other sign. Okay, so we're going straight now over this hill, and this is a school zone. We still have summer holidays apparently, so there's nothing happening. 50 kilometers ahead, but look at the line marking there. Really wide line on here. 50 kilometers correctly recognized. Slows down to 50. Just one beep. it gets better. I tell you, it gets better. It was totally freaking out before on this intersection there because the line was so wide. And here again, can't see shit. Slows down to 45. Yeah, it's a bit going over the line actually, but then over the crest it catches itself again, 50 kilometers and no problem. Okay, upcoming school zone. This is a new update, or this came with the last update as well. Let's see if it puts the new.
Bear left towards Forest Hill Fernvale Road, then turn right onto Forest Hill Fernvale.
I thought it did yesterday here. Well, yesterday I had the school zone symbol here with a little timer. Okay, very difficult to drive for the car. I'm turning it down to 35. It's actually 60 here.
Left towards Forest Hill Fernvale.
So you can't see anything ahead of us. Oh, it does it! It does it! Okay, stop sign. Right, so no warning for me running over this stop sign, nothing. But it handled the curve in 35. Didn't do it yesterday in automatic. Totally freaked out. Yeah, 60 is correct here. See, it says even soft edges here. It has already 100, still 60, 100 sign is up there. Okay, I put the car in 100. But I will slow the car down manually a couple of times on this road here. I'm not confident to let the car drive on 100, even it wants to. But you cannot really see far ahead here on this road, and it's really bumpy. I don't know how they can make 100. So far the car drives itself. Doesn't slow down or something. There should be a 90 or 80 kilometer zone. So this is all good. Here comes a right curve, 80 kilometers recommended. 100 is allowed. Still 100, here's the curve. I'm prepared. Car slows down automatically. 90, 88. Very bumpy road, so I would probably go with 80 through here. And again here, left curve, 90, far too fast for me. Can't see stuff. Oh, that was airborne. I think we just jumped a little bit. And here, of course, construction site, 60 kilometers, doesn't recognize that. Yeah, there's really a hole in the road. Wow. Okay, here's 100 again. Well, the car handled it, at least. But I think we shifted a little bit when we came out of this hole. Oh, that didn't feel well. So again, far too fast for my taste. You can't see around the corner. It goes uphill around the corner and you can't see far enough to drive 90 or 85 kilometers. I would have gone probably 80, 75. But the car is always trying to maximize the allowed speed. So if 100 is allowed, it tries to make this 100 kilometers per hour, which is not always good. And especially in these curves, it shouldn't do that. It should know from the data, from the map data, there's a hump coming, a crest. Slow down, drive slower, so the person in charge can actually step in and yeah, take over in case there's a vehicle on the road or something, or a barrier, whatever. And now it smashes through. And here again, I would drive far more on the right hand side next to the line. As long as no cars are coming, I drive more in the middle of the road, not over the line, but close, very close to the line. And then if a car is coming, I move over again. Oh. Here was a bit of a, again, very bumpy road. Far too fast for me, 60 kilometers ahead. Very bumpy road, hard to see what's ahead. There's the 60 sign. Will it slow down? 60, yeah, it does it. But after the sign, not ahead of it. It should recognize there's 60 zone coming, slow down before that, and from the sign you drive 60 and not 50 or 60 meters behind the sign. You're starting to slow down.
Now turn right onto Brisbane Valley Highway.
All right, so we're turning right here. Okay, 60 allowed. We are coming now to the township of Fernvale. And this should be no problem. We've got clear line marking here on both sides of the road. Fairly straight. Cameras can look ahead. And still I cannot override the speed. Here there's not enough data there. 60 kilometers an hour maximum on autopilot, which is totally fine for me. I don't need any additional speed. I'm just testing this all the time and see how much data actually is available. Because on the highway, when I drive to work, for example, I can override with any speed. But on these roads here, well, it's learning. It is learning. Oh, police coming. Put your hands back on the steering wheel. Ooh, it's gone. Wasn't after me. Okay, welcome to Fernvale. Good bakery here on the left. Old Fernvale Bakery, if you're on the area. Very good food.
Meters, turn right onto Fernvale.
Okay, we have almost reached the destination at the shopping center. So this gives you a good indication what the actual, or how far we are away from the autopilot in terms of navigation and self-driving.
Turn right onto Fernvale Road.
I must say it has improved. Oh, a little bit. There are cars coming.
Now your destination is on the right.
Right. Okay, looking for the farmost car park. Well, here's good. Here's good. All right. All right. Come on, camera. Yeah. So, what do you think? This is country road. As you have seen, there's no data available from Tesla. This is all what the car does just by itself. That's what the software actually tells the car to do, just from the cameras in front, ahead of us, and from the side cameras. Keeps the car pretty good in the lane, even if there's no lane marking available. So I personally think it is mind-blowing what the car already can do without any further input from Tesla. This is what the software can do. This is pure, naked, raw software driving with autopilot. How far are we away from full self-driving, and should you buy it? I think we are still at least 2.5, 3 years away from full self-driving. Yeah, I mean, cars are collecting data, but not many cars are driving in these roads on autopilot as I do, as I just did. This will take a long time to collect all the data and refine the neural network to let cars drive perfectly fine on these roads. You need to do all the intersections, all the crossings, all the turns, set the blinker, read all the stop signs, have the traffic in there, the road construction, the construction sites in there as well, which you need to handle. All these little bits and pieces. It is a lot. It is a lot. And conditions are changing constantly. You've got different weather, the sun comes towards you, you got rain, you got snow, well, not here, but, and this is constantly changing. And wow, there's a lot of data to actually pull down from the network when people are driving in these areas here on full self-driving on autopilot. Then, but I do my bit. I share all this data with Tesla. It's downloading about 2 GB after such a drive during the night over my Wi-Fi. It is insane, right? It uses my Wi-Fi to collect all this data, but that's fine. It doesn't bother me. It takes probably an hour, 1.5 hours or something, and then all the data is uploaded. So it's not too bad. So, and then the next point is, should you buy full self-driving? Well, I can actually mount the camera here on the, I can't see myself, but that's fine, should be good. Well, I'm on the fence since I bought the car. I know full self-driving will get more expensive in the next couple of weeks, months or so, I don't know. Should I buy it? Probably not. That's 8,500 Australian dollars, which is a lot. There's more than 10% again what the car actually, what I paid for the car. I don't know. And on these roads here I'm usually driving, there will be no difference. The car will not do anything better or worse than it just did. If I would drive a lot of highway, if I would commute to Brisbane or to Toowoomba, like 50-60 kilometers a day, pure on highway, I would probably go for it, because this will be more relaxing. The car is more confident to drive. It overtakes other vehicles, it sets blinkers, it takes the exit, all this kind of stuff. This will improve. This is already in the Navigate on Autopilot, but is it worth the money? Definitely not. Definitely not yet. No. And now you get self-parking as well, but again, come on, suction cup, look around you. Where would you do self-parking here? This is stupid. I mean, there's so much space here in this car park because everyone is parking over there next to the shops. They don't want to walk. Yeah, and this, but here there are no cars, so there would be no purpose for self-parking options here at all. Would you summon your car in this car park here when other cars are around, when other people are around? I would not do this either. I would not do that. I'm not confident to let the car drive itself on such a car park here with other people, with other cars. So probably when nobody else is here, just for making a video, for showing what it can do. But I mean, there are hundreds of videos out there already, so it's nothing new. Yeah, well, and this is pretty much everything you get for full self-driving at the moment. I'm not sure if you can see the visualization of traffic lights and stop signs and garbage bins and everything if you have self-driving here in Australia, but I don't think you have. I haven't read anything in the forums or people sharing their screenshots or whatever in terms of these features, so I don't think this is here yet in Australia. I'll show you quickly the software update. So we are on 2019 1457 at the moment. Is there anything new? No, I haven't read anything in the forums. So I think the car handles these roads pretty well. We did a 200-kilometer road trip today up to Ravensbourne National Park and then coming back from Toowoomba again. No problem. The only thing is the car drives a little bit too fast in some circumstances, which I personally don't like, so I turn it down. Probably 5, 10, 15, 20 kilometers sometimes. I'm not confident to drive that fast, and I would not like to have the car driving that fast, really. So slow down, car, really. Slow down, be safe. It's not a race. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about such a driving and what the car actually could handle. So it didn't kill me at all on these roads, apart from turns, of course, and intersections and stuff. But this is not included, so I have to take it off. But it got a lot better. I've driven home Fernvale probably with a Tesla not often. maybe 5 times. No, not even that. Probably 3 or 4 times. This is probably number 4 now. And I think it got better. Yeah, I think it got better. Yeah, so I will upload my 2.1 gigabyte again tonight when Tesla pulls the information of my car. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming with me to Fernvale tonight. Thanks for watching. This is Andy from Unplugged TV Australia signing off. You stay charged, and we will see us again in the next test, in the next video for the next test very soon. All right, guys. See you then. Bye-bye.